It's Wednesday, March the 4th. Today, a devastating bus crash in the Dominican Republic claims the life of a Manitoba woman. How her family is searching for answers and trying to bring their loved ones home. Also today, tired of the time change? Will Manitoba follow British Columbia's decision to stick with permanent daylight saving time? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley McPhill's doing something really fun this morning. She's hanging out and telling us all about Home Roots. It's basically sort of like an on-tour concert that they go to small town halls. They even go to people's living rooms and perform mini concerts all over the country. And so we're going to get a sneak peek on what we could expect. We're going to get some music throughout the morning as well. So that'll be fun. But the weather, Terry, yesterday wasn't bad at all. It wasn't...
No, I mean, here's the thing. Once we get into like the thick of winter,
yes,
and then have something like what happened over the weekend, a day like yesterday, you're right, it wasn't bad at all.
Good.
It was a little bit below seasonal. We should actually be dealing with some slightly warmer temperatures this time of year than both yesterday or what we'll likely experience today. But again, when we're coming off of a winter where we've had such shocking swings and plenty of time spent well below seasonal, that a day like yesterday, a few degrees below normal, doesn't seem that bad. Well, that's what we're in for once again today. Our temperature begins at -12, and that in itself is slightly above seasonal because -14 is that normal low. It's the daytime high that we're not going to reach today. There is a bit of a breeze, and those winds will likely get stronger throughout the day. At the moment, they're 27 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. Pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 84%. We're going to have some heavier clouds hanging around as well. Some places might even be seeing some scattered snow today, especially through more of central Manitoba. Once again, very clear throughout northern Manitoba, and once again, very cold, still with those wind chill values that have you stuck in the mid-40s. So make sure that you're bundled up all across northern Manitoba. Here in the south, there you can see a little bit of that activity moving through central Manitoba, the possibility that we see some of that as well. So things could get a little bit active as far as precipitation goes. And yes, those winds, they're going to be on the stronger side. Oh, I've got both models showed up here. So both of them basically showing the same thing, that bit of precipitation through central Manitoba, and again, maybe even lingering into the evening overnight. Tomorrow starting to push more into northern Manitoba, where you've been feeling the chill. I know up north it's been shockingly cold. We're going to get shockingly mild as we continue on into the weekend. Today below seasonal, tomorrow and Friday back to normal, and then those plus digits waiting for a mild weekend ahead.
Thank you, Terry. A grieving Manitoba family says it's been left in the dark after their mother was killed and their father hospitalized in a tragic bus crash in the Dominican Republic. CTV's Danton Unger reports.
And they don't seem to care that we've already lost her and we might lose him.
Amanda Fullerton's parents, John and Colleen, left for a vacation in the Dominican Republic Saturday. The next day, Amanda received an urgent text from her uncle who was traveling with them.
In hospital, bad crash. And then he phoned and he said that all he knew was that my dad was covered in blood and my mother was unconscious.
Sunwing Vacation says on Sunday a bus transferring guests from Punta Cana International Airport to their hotels via their third-party provider Nexus Tours was involved in a crash that resulted in casualties. But in the aftermath, Amanda and her family says they didn't hear anything from the government, embassies, Sunwing, or Nexus Tours.
We found we found out our grandma had died via the news.
In their country.
Even now, they say communication with the federal government and Sunwing has been limited as they're desperately waiting for any updates about their dad's condition. All they know is that he's in the ICU.
We've had no contact. We don't know what's going on. We know he needs spinal plasty surgery if he's stable enough, and we've heard nothing.
Global Affairs Canada tells CTV News it's aware of 2 Canadians who died in the crash, but would not confirm their identities. Canadian officials are providing consular assistance and are in contact with local authorities. Due to privacy considerations, no further information can be disclosed. Meanwhile, Sunwing Vacations tells CTV News we are in close contact with Nexus Tours as well as local authorities and are actively supporting impacted guests as well as anyone who may require assistance. statements. But Amanda and her family want more than statements from Sunwing and the federal government as they work to get her father home alive and bring her mother's body back to Canada.
We just want him home, and my mom to come home where she belongs.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A Sunwing spokesperson tells CTV News it will cover all travel costs for impacted families, including flying Colleen Fullerton's body home. The airline adds the Canadian Embassy has been notifying next of kin. Now, an update to a story we brought you yesterday morning. The security guard seen on video allegedly assaulting a man accused of shoplifting from a downtown store has been arrested. And a warning, you may find this video disturbing. Winnipeg police arrested the 23-year-old guard Monday night, 2 days after the incident at the Dollarama on Portage Avenue. He's charged with assault with a weapon, uttering threats, and unauthorized possession of a prohibited weapon. That's in connection to the brass knuckles he's accused of using. As we told you previously, the 46-year-old man he detained is also charged with robbery and uttering threats. Video of the encounter circulated widely online, which prompted the Major Crimes Unit to investigate. None of the charges against either man has been tested in court. A unit focused on finding and arresting people who breached their bail conditions is now fully operational.
What we're looking for here is a data-driven solution, one that focuses on those who are the most high risk for public safety.
The Winnipeg Police Service Bail Compliance Unit began operation in December. It's made up of 12 police officers who monitor and enforce bail compliance. A priority is placed on high-risk offenders. Since December 15th, the unit has conducted 922 bail compliance and wanted person checks, which resulted in 366 offenders being arrested or having warrants issued.
In speaking with the unit this week, those numbers are accelerating. The period that I'm referencing includes Christmas and New Year's holiday season, and currently they're doing between 50 to 100 checks per day.
A real-time operational dashboard accessible from the police cruiser allows officers to sort by neighborhood, severity of offense, and more for what officials say is a targeted, evidence-based approach. The province has allocated $3 million to support the unit. Speaking in Australia this morning, Prime Minister Mark Carney was asked if the strike in Iran broke international law.
It would appear prima facie not to be consistent or to be inconsistent with international law. It's a judgment for others to make. I'm not a lawyer, let alone an international legal expert. You know,
Prime Minister Carney also called the conflict an example of the failure in the international order. He says despite decades of sanctions and diplomacy, Iran's nuclear threat remains. The Prime Minister had faced criticism for initially backing strikes on Iran. He was speaking at a think tank this morning on the second day of his visit to Australia. On his first official international trip as opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, who is in London, proposed a new trade partnership that he says would strengthen existing ties.
And agreements that allow us to trade freely, face upheaval, we need to double down and deepen our ties with our oldest and most trusted friends. Instead of shrinking markets behind tariffs, we should expand opportunities among friends. That is why I believe the time has come for a partnership between Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia, and New Zealand, a modern CANZUK.
Poilievre is expected to depart London for Berlin today, where he will deliver a keynote speech on the transatlantic relationship. A city strategy to provide people places to go is proving popular in some areas, but not in others. A report to the Community Services Committee shows nearly 48,500 people were served by a permanent washroom facility on Main Street in 2025. That's around 4,000 more visits than the year before. During that time, thousands accessed the toilets, peer support, and water. However, the two portable washrooms on Yonge Street and Cumberland Avenue experienced significant challenges, including vandalism, fires, theft, and improper disposal of sharps and other waste. It caused the city to drop the number of porta potties from 6 to 2. It was only a matter of time before companies started making smartphones for pets. The pet phone made its debut at the World Mobile Congress in Spain. It's mounted on a pet's collar. When it senses a lot of barking or agitation, the phone automatically calls the owner. A camera allows the owner to see what's going on while they speak to their pet. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic on Long Notre Dame Avenue. Looks like things are starting off well this Wednesday morning. If you see anything out on the streets causing problems, send us a text, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live in a music studio this morning, telling us all about the event coming up, Home Roots. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Some reporters are sent all around the world meeting famous people, and I am in Scott's garage in Winnipeg, and I would have it no other way. This is awesome, and I really do feel like it encapsulates what Home Roots is. It's been going on since 2007 all over the country, organized right here in Winnipeg as well as BC, and it brings musicians since that time millions of dollars in revenue all around. So over 500 shows. In Manitoba alone, there's 14 shows up north, south, and in central Manitoba. And who's inviting the people? Where are the stages, you ask? In people's literal homes. So that's why I'm saying it kind of brings me back to where I am right now. Stay with us this morning as we learn all about it.
It's a great space to hang out in the morning. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop, another great place to hang out. How's it feeling out there?
Actually, I'd rather be hanging out in the studio with you, to be honest with you. It's a little bit cold, it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit breezy, too, today. You're going to notice that wind and the slightly below seasonal temperatures that go with it, although our morning temperatures aren't too bad. We're actually slightly above seasonal. Normal lows would be -14. So here we begin at -12, but that breeze, it's 31 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast, and suddenly -12 feels more like -22. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 83%. I'm just seeing a few sparkles in the air right now. I don't know if I'd even call it light flurries, but there's a little bit of kind of precipitation that we're seeing. And it certainly may, especially through more of central Manitoba. That's where things are likely to be far more active with those passing flurries. For northern Manitoba, oh, it's still so incredibly cold. Those extreme cold warnings remain in place, and you're waking up to those wind chill values in the low to mid -40s, and still only topping out in the low to mid -20s. Once you're reaching those expected highs, you add winds on top of that, and it will be feeling much colder, but looking much clearer, whereas here in central and southern Manitoba, we won't be seeing much sunshine. Plenty of clouds expected to hang around throughout the day. We want you to hang around. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. You might want to go to bed an hour early Saturday night as our clocks spring ahead to daylight saving time, but it will be the last time people in BC do it, as that province is moving away from the seasonal changes. And that has many wondering if Manitoba will do the same thing. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, it appears this may not be our time.
This weekend, Manitobans will lose an hour of sleep when we spring our clocks forward for daylight saving.
I'm tired of it, actually, like literally tired. Yeah, the body really feels it.
I don't like changing time. It should stay the same.
Saskatchewan and Yukon have a uniform time year-round and don't switch back and forth. And now, BC is making a similar move. That province will stay on daylight time, doing away with the biannual time change.
And we won't have to do that anymore.
So should Manitoba follow suit? There have been attempts in the past in this province to end the practice with various legislative bills, but to date nothing has changed. And it appears Premier Wabkanu isn't interested, at least not at this time, as he says he has other priorities to worry about.
I think everybody's got an opinion on it, but we only have so many hours in a day. And we're going to spend those hours on healthcare and lowering your cost of living.
Some researchers say changing the time twice a year can be bad for our health, as it can throw off our biological clocks.
Which eventually increases the risk for heart attack, for stroke, also for car accidents, and in general for mood disorders, and also increases the risk for depression.
But Dr. Ina Rabinovich-Nikitin with the St. Boniface Hospital Research Centre says BC should have adopted standard time, not daylight time, where it can be dark when people are waking up.
Our body is not adjusted to wake up when it's dark, and therefore it will eventually increase the risk for everything that I just mentioned.
And BC is also getting some pushback for moving unilaterally. The federation that represents small businesses says any change must align with other provinces and U.S. states.
If you think about driving south and the time changes, it creates a headache for businesses who are coordinating shipments, trying to coordinate their customer service hours.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
For the first time in 15 years, Winnipeg's New Flyer Industries is building transit buses from start to finish completely in Canada. On On Tuesday, New Flyer officially opened its all-Canadian build facility. The bus manufacturing facility is creating 250 direct jobs and is expected to result in hundreds of additional indirect jobs. In the past, just the shell of the bus was built here, then it was sent to the U.S. to be finished. Now New Flyer will completely design and build the transit buses right here in Winnipeg. Federal Industry Minister Mélanie Joly says New Flyer is an example for the rest of the country.
We know that what has happened here at New Flyer can become something we can do at a larger scale. And there could be New Flyer in many sectors and also in many parts of the country. And so we know that in times of hardship, Canadians roll up their sleeves and we are able to build back and build back strong. And what has happened here is an example of building Canada strong.
New Flyer is now looking for new Canadian companies to supply as many of the elements that go into the bus as possible. At the moment, the company sources them from the United States. The province spent $23 million to support New Flyer's new facility, alongside investments made by Ottawa and the company itself. Gas prices are up across the country, and experts aren't sure how high they could go.
No one can really predict where prices are going to be, and I wouldn't trust anyone trying to predict where prices are going to be in a month or next summer. But certainly, when we look at the trend is upwards.
Tensions in the Middle East has put upward pressure on energy prices. In the Toronto area, the price for a litre of gas jumped 6 cents a litre overnight. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTeague is predicting another 6-cent jump by tomorrow. In Montreal, gas is going for as much as $1.62 a litre at some stations. And in Nova Scotia, its energy board has triggered its interrupter clause, causing the price of gas and diesel to jump. Enforcement of new rules around homeless encampments in Winnipeg has slowed down in recent weeks, largely due to the cold weather. That's according to the latest verbal report at City Hall. The Public Service says since mid-November, enforcement officers have taken action against 17 encampments, which is just 3 more since the last update. The city says part of the reason for the slowdown is because displacing someone in the winter when there isn't an alternative housing option could put people's lives at risk. It also noted the province's Your Way Home strategy to end chronic homelessness appears to be having a noticeable impact. Meanwhile, another 51 sites have had garbage removed and 119 signs have been posted. 15 had to be replaced due to vandalism. For Canadian engineering students, this is their top gun. Every year, students compete in the Aerial Evolution Association competition. In other words, they fly drones against each other. This week, the team from Waterloo put its drones through its paces. This year's theme is urban firefighting. That's why you see the drone shooting water at a target. There are about 20 schools taking part. This year's competition is in Ottawa. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The median lanes on Donald and Smith will be closed today between Ellis and Notre Dame Avenue. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Goulet Street will be closed from Taché to St. Mary's Road, and the westbound median lane on Ellis Avenue will be closed between Furby and Sherbrooke. If you see any issues out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A look now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. All right, we've got some heavier clouds hanging around. That moon's still very full. I was trying to see it again this morning and very much couldn't. I did see a little bit of it last night, but even last night there was a little bit of a haze in front of it. And now it's just full out heavy clouds that we'll deal with through central and southern Manitoba. Temperatures, though, with that extra blanket of insulation, are a little bit milder than you might expect this time of year, minus 14 being a normal low. And while more of central Manitoba is pushing into those numbers, here in the very south, just barely into the minus double digits, so even slightly above seasonal in Winnipeg. Minus 12 is where we sit, along with Brandon. And then, yes, those mid-minus teens through the more central stretch, but a big difference once we head further up into the north where the sky is clear, and you can see it is so much colder yet. Once again, extreme cold warnings have been issued or remain in place, I suppose. It's been a few days now all across northern Manitoba, and it has a lot more to do with the next frame I'm going to show you. Mid-minus 30s is where your actual temperature sits, but factor in the winds and you're in the mid to high minus 40s all across that most northern stretch. So do make sure that you're taking all of the necessary precautions and even just limiting your time outdoors. We're dealing with a stronger wind this morning, pushing our wind chill value into the low minus 20s. That wind, though, could at times gust to about 50 kilometers per hour. Right now, we're looking at more of a 30K wind, but still, it is a little bit breezy. It's also a little bit snowy, seeing some flakes moving on our satellite image through that more central part of the province, and the possibility that we see a couple of flakes here throughout the day today, but the mainly cloudy conditions are expected all through central and southern Manitoba. And the temperature really not budging much throughout the day today. We're at minus 12 right now, minus 11 into the 9 o'clock hour, minus 9 our expected high, but the warm up comes a little more so through the rest of the week, and more so yet as we're looking ahead to the weekend. This little guy having a bath in the snow. Thanks to Cecile for the photo. Keep them coming to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca, and we'll see you right after this break.
Good morning. Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Will indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Explore vibrant markets and serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. A 105-year-old Manitoba creamery is getting a new burst of life, and it's all thanks to a family determined to keep traditional butter making alive. CTV's Harrison Shin explains.
That's how cream goes from liquid to solid.
Welcome to Notre Dame Creamery, where 105 years of churned history continues.
To my understanding, it is, if not the last creamery in Manitoba, this small town creamery, it is among the very last.
It was first built in 1921 by Saint Boniface Dairy in Notre Dame des Lourdes, with several owners over the years, including Boswell Cheese and Gay Lee. Now, Lebanese Manitoban Joseph Shaban continues the legacy after buying the creamery from the Ontario company.
They didn't know what they wanted to do with the plant because they had around 14 plants across Canada, but they wanted to keep it going because they are a cooperative and they didn't want to see it close down because a lot of history is here.
Shaban, a second-generation dairy scientist, makes churned, salted, and unsalted butter with about 10 employees hired from the area.
Just so you know, this is around 1,900 pounds of butter.
Bernard Busk, aka Barney the Butterman, has worked at the creamery for 17 years. He says the future looks bright and they'll keep the operation going as long as they can.
Every person that comes in says the same thing. It's like, that's the best butter in Manitoba. It's like, so it's like, you do the old tap on their shoulder, and it's like you just keep with the recipe that you were told to follow.
Shaban says locals welcomed his family when they took over the creamery. His partner was a Syrian refugee who settled in Canada with help from Manitobans. Now, Shaban says it's time to give back by expanding the business.
We're getting equipment to come in to help us scale up, and we're hoping that we can employ more people in Notre Dame and the surrounding areas.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Notre Dame des Lourdes, Manitoba.
The Winnipeg Jets kicked off an 8-game homestand Tuesday night against the Chicago Blackhawks. Dylan Sandberg got the Jets on the board early with his first goal of the season, but Chicago responded late in the first with a power play marker to even things up. Connor Hellebuck, still fresh off his Olympic gold medal win, was in fine form in the second, stopping the Chicago Rush on a number of chances. The Blackhawks took the lead early in the third, but with time winding down, Cole Perfetti scored the equalizer, and Mark Scheifele finished things off for the 3-2 win in overtime. The Jets are back in action Thursday against the Lightning. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
minus 12. That's the temperature that we're waking up to this morning, is slightly above seasonal. However, a wind that you'll notice at 31 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast is making it feel like minus 22. And suddenly you're thinking, oh, that's chilly feeling. It is. Pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 83%. But the chill all coming from the winds, which will continue to increase throughout the day today. There's also some extra clouds hanging around, and the clouds perhaps are helping us with those temperatures themselves that are slightly above seasonal, but then the winds are basically ruining any gains that we're making as a result of that blanket of insulation that we have over us. Meanwhile, further up into the north where it's clear, it's even colder yet. Northern Manitoba remains under extreme cold warnings. A little bit of light flurry activity moving through parts of central Manitoba, and we too here in the south could possibly see a flake or two of snow. Not a massive amount by any means, but maybe some light and scattered precipitation. You're certainly going to notice the cloudy conditions though, and yes, that breeze at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. Temperature climbing to a high of minus 9 though, so that is a little bit below seasonal, but not shockingly cold. I mean, when we've been dealing with a winter that's been all over the place with the temperatures, it just kind of feels like a normal winter day. But we should be starting to get closer to those more spring-like feeling days. Not that it's technically spring, but certainly a little bit warmer than that. Now, overnight, not losing much, only down to minus 13. The gains will be made tomorrow, so things are starting to improve through the latter part of the week. Minus 3, partly sunny conditions for tomorrow, and then we're looking at some much milder temperatures, especially into the weekend. Minus 4 normal for this time of year, but plus 4 is where we'll land for the weekend, and staying mild but dipping as we continue through the week.
Thank you, Terry. Manitoba's Commissioner of Elections is weighing in on some ads run by a political action group about the NDP. It says the ads contained false information but didn't violate any election laws. At issue were text messages and ads issued by Regina-based Canada Growth Council, Inc. in the run-up to the October 2023 election. It claimed the NDP would, if elected, allow free heroin and hard drugs for criminals. The commissioner says even if the group believed that to be true, such remarkable claims should be verified. However, he added the Elections Act doesn't forbid false statements about a party's platform. The council didn't return our request for comment. The NDP won the election and captured 34 of the 57 legislature seats. A Manitoba homeowner is raising the alarm over the cost of going solar. He's concerned he may not be getting back what he believes he's putting into the energy grid. CTV's Joseph Bernacki explains.
Medrick Cumberback has lived in this Cooks Creek house for 40 years. 5 years ago, Cumberback decided it was time to reduce his energy bill, so he went solar.
After a year of use, it was the best thing I ever did when it comes to power.
But Cumberback says the money he put into going solar isn't what he's getting back today. He says this 24-panel unit cost him $34,000 in 2022. The federal government and provincial government kicked in $5,000 each in grants, bringing that cost down. In 2023, he says he was able to sell the extra power for 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, that number has decreased.
Now it's 9.9 cents coming in and 4.3 cents going out per kilowatt.
Cumberback says his unit sends out close to 1,000 kilowatts of energy a month. He says it's becoming more difficult to justify that initial investment if the price of producing solar power keeps going down.
If you want Manitobans to get into solar, get into wind, don't keep cheating us on what we are doing for the economy, for the environment.
Manitoba Hydro says the historical average of the excess energy price since 2019 is 4.4 cents, close to what Cumberback is receiving now. The Crown Corporation says while that price does fluctuate, there could be some relief in sight for people like Cumberback in a few weeks' time.
We set the price once a year, April 1st, based on a 12-month average of what we can sell or buy that energy for on the open market. And I can't give you the exact number, but I know it's going up.
Still, Cumberback is advising others to be cautious and read the information online carefully before getting into solar.
People, when they look at this is a really good idea. Give us the ability to do it for ourselves and pay us.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Cooks Creek.
A 6-year-old boy has died in a sledding accident in Quebec. Medical experts are now issuing another warning about the dangers of tobogganing without a helmet.
What bothers me a little bit is that when I'm looking at the cases, only about 20% of the kids were actually wearing helmets when they were on the toboggan hills, which is low.
Police say the boy suffered serious head injuries in an incident on the sledding hill in Chambly. He was rushed to hospital where he later died. Experts say the weather this winter has made for icy conditions, which not only makes it hard to stop, but also more dangerous when you fall off. The Montreal Children's Hospital says since November, they've seen about 50 sledding accidents with injuries ranging from sprains and broken bones to head injuries. This toboggan hill will remain closed during the investigation and possibly for the rest of the season. BC's chief coroner has now called an inquest into the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge
to examine the circumstances surrounding these 9 deaths, identify any systemic or procedural issues, and make evidence-based recommendations aimed at preventing similar loss of life in the future.
There are a number of unanswered questions around mental health, firearms oversight, and the role of artificial intelligence. Opposition parties are calling this a good first step, but they say a coroner's inquest isn't enough to get all the answers. Some people are calling for a full public inquiry. Meanwhile, Canada's AI Minister Evan Solomon will meet with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman to talk safety. This follows revelations about the shooter's ChatGPT account, how it was shut down by OpenAI, but the police weren't alerted until after the shootings. Matt Dunstone's perfect start at the Montana's Brier in St. John's was on the line Tuesday evening. He squared off against Alberta's Kevin Coe in a battle of undefeated teams. Coe got the best of the Manitoba skip in this one with the 7-6 win. Dunstone dropped to 4-1 in Pool B. Meantime, Braden Calvert's rank climbed back to 3-2 in Pool B Tuesday night with a 10-6 victory over the team from the Yukon. The two Manitoba teams did clash in the morning draw, with Dunstone posting a 6-3 win over Calvert. Both rinks are back in action this afternoon. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Looks like it's starting off really well in this part of the city. We have no issues to tell you about here. If you see something out there, send us the text, please, at 10400. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is going up to, right now, it's $1.40. The provincial average is $1.32. In Winnipeg, it's the same. And the lowest price in the city is $1.07. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Coming up, we're live with Ainsley McPhail. She's telling us all about home routes and the Cross Canada Tour. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Once again, very similar to what I was noticing last time I stepped outdoors about 20 minutes ago. There's just a little bit of a sparkle into the sky this morning. Not a straight out flurries, but a little bit of like precipitation that just has a little glimmer to it this morning. Also, the heavier clouds, we're going to see them sticking around, and the above seasonal temperatures don't feel so mild, and that's all due to the much stronger wind that we're going to notice increasing throughout the day today. So minus 12 feels like minus 22 once you're factoring in that 31K wind out of the north-northeast, the pressure rising, humidity at 83%, and yes, the clouds will be sticking around through most of the day, and that'll be all across central and southern Manitoba, with central Manitoba far more likely to deal with some actual snow, whereas here we may see a flake or two or more of this kind of sparkle that I'm talking about in the sky this morning. Where the conditions will be clear, that's northern Manitoba once again under that extreme cold warning, waking up with wind chill values in the minus 40s. You're going to want to bundle up once again. Checking in with Ainsley McPhail this morning, who's got an interesting task at hand. Ainsley, tell us what you're doing this morning.
Well, we're going to beat the winter blues inside of maybe the coolest garage you've ever seen in Winnipeg. Leonard Podolak is joining us. We're talking about home roots. Something's been going on since 2007. Musicians actually invited into the homes of the locals. And how many shows have you done, Leonard?
Well, this year's lining up to be over 500 shows across the country. The way our network is broken up, we have several tours, one in each province. We have a wonderful tour in a bunch of communities all around southern Manitoba, and that exists all across the country. From, we're building it in Newfoundland, and we exist basically operating from Ontario to northern British Columbia, so it's pretty exciting.
And something so cool about this and truly beautiful is that people are inviting the musicians into their homes and turning it into a concert. What does that look like?
Yeah, so people, they rearrange their furniture to make their chairs sort of line up like a mini theater. You take the folding chairs, you put them in the front. Maybe, the kids can sit on pillows in front of everyone, the couches in the back. And yeah, you just line up, you leave a place in the corner for the artist to set up, and people transform their living rooms into little mini venues and host the neighborhood. And, it's a concert, and people are discovering the music. Mostly folks don't know the band that they're going to see. So our shows become an excuse for hosts to create a platform to invite the community and to lift everybody up. It's a unique and rare endeavor that I'm pretty excited to be a part of.
Before we're out of time, are you looking for hosts?
Absolutely, yeah. So you can sign up to be a host and host 6 concerts a year, 3 months one in each month in the spring and one in each month in the fall. And every show's kind of different. If we hire a singer-songwriter one time, it might be a blues artist the next time, or we try to cross the folk diaspora, men and women, folks from all walks of life and life experiences, and it's definitely a unique thing to do. And yeah, we're looking for hosts, folks. If you want to bring the folk festival or something like that to your house, that's us.
The best way to do it. Thank you so much. More coming up after the break.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is slightly higher. The Nasdaq added 66 points. The S&P index is up 11. The Canadian dollar had small gains, set to 73.18 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng lost 518 points, and the Nikkei fell 2,033 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Politicians will be back at the Manitoba legislature today as winter break is over. The fall sitting began in mid-November and largely focused on taxes and the cost of living. Premier Wab Kinew's NDP government has said it plans to bring forward at least 19 more bills, including a ban on machetes in public places. The fall session was also marked by heated debate, with the New Democrats calling the Tories misogynists and tofu eaters, and the Tories calling Kinew a liar and a criminal. Nearly 100,000 Canadians are in regions impacted by war, and Ottawa has requested Oman for its airspace, if necessary, to bring those who are stranded home.
I was on the phone with foreign ministers of Gulf countries and Middle East countries all weekend, including Oman this morning, who they still have, or had at the time of my conversation with the foreign minister, have airspace that is still viable.
The foreign affairs minister says Canada is making sure supports are available. The U.S. is securing military aircraft and charter flights for its citizens. Some international tourists stranded in the Middle East have started flying home on limited repatriation flights as hundreds of thousands race to get out. Israel has now hit dozens of military targets across Tehran as airstrikes in Iran continue. Israel says the strikes targeted the main headquarters linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guards. A spokesperson says the IDF will continue to intensify their strikes on the Iranian regime's infrastructure. And Israel's defense minister says Iran's new supreme leader will be a target for elimination. Iran continued to attack Israeli and U.S. targets in the Middle East, but an IDF spokesperson says it's seeing a decline in launches from Iran. A U.S.-based human rights activist news agency says more than 1,000 civilians have been killed in Iran since February 28th. Iran will begin a 3-day funeral service today for former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Officials say a public ceremony will be held, followed by a funeral procession. The leader was killed Saturday in an airstrike from the joint operation between Israel and the U.S. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has released the names of 4 of the 6 U.S. service members killed. They are Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Nicole Amor, Sergeant First Class Noah Tejans, and Sergeant Declan Cody. On Sunday, Iran used a drone to strike a tactical operations center in Kuwait, where the service members were stationed. The names of the other 2 have not been publicly released yet. Spain is not backing down from its opposition to strikes in Iran.
We're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
Speaking in the Oval Office yesterday, U.S. President Trump threatened to cut off all trade with Spain. He says Spain refuses to allow the U.S. to use its military bases for missions linked to the Iran war. This morning, Spain's prime minister doubled down on his stance. He says the U.S. and Israel are playing Russian roulette with the lives of millions of people. In another test of support for President Trump, the U.S. Senate is expected to vote this afternoon on a resolution on his war powers. Your next bath could look like this if you're willing to pay up. The makers of a futuristic human washing machine in Japan are promising a full body clean in just 15 minutes without any soap or scrubbing. One of Japan's biggest home electronics makers is displaying a demo unit at one of their stores. Once a person is seated inside the special tub, it fills with warm water, while 2 types of bubbles remove dirt and cleanse the skin. Meanwhile, a built-in projector shows peaceful images, and immersive speakers play music picked by monitoring your heart rate for a relaxing experience. Not bad. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The median lanes on Donald and Smith will be closed today between Ellis and Notre Dame Avenue. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Goulet Street will be closed from Taché to St. Mary's Road. And the westbound median lane on Ellis Avenue will be closed between Furby and Sherbrooke. If you see anything out there, send us a text, please.
Has the very simple task of washing ourselves become so difficult that we're putting ourselves in washing machines now? That's bizarre. Hey, I suppose there are some circumstances where maybe that would be beneficial. Anyway, let's take a look outside. It's -12, feels like -22. A 31K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 83%. And it is going to be a below seasonal day for many of us, more so through northern Manitoba. Not just below seasonal, cold enough that extreme cold warnings have been issued once again or really just remain in place. It's been days of the extremes for you. And today, just another one to add to that calendar that seems to be mounting of the ticks for awfully cold weather. And I'm talking extreme cold with wind chill values pushing you into the mid to even high -40s this morning. These are the values that you'll be rising to throughout the day today, and this is your actual temperature. You factor in winds on top of that and it will be feeling colder yet, but it's clear. You can see you're going to be enjoying some sunshine all through the northeast and even in the far most northern parts of the province. Yes, cold in those -20s still, but plenty of sunshine, whereas that won't likely be the case. Much of central and then southern Manitoba will be dealing with some heavier clouds, or maybe even through the more central part, some scattered precipitation as well. Our temperatures, too, will be a little bit below seasonal. -4 is now a normal daytime high, and we're not going to be reaching those numbers by any means, staying several below that. But things will be warming up after today. We're going to see a return to those more seasonal temperatures, and then a continuous warm up by the weekend when we're pushing up above the freezing mark. So there you can see the swings to come, taking us well above normal. But today, a little bit cool, a little bit breezy too.
Thank you, Terry. It may still be more than 3 months away, but the excitement is building in Toronto as the city and its fans get ready to host the world's most watched sporting event, the FIFA World Cup. Here's CTV's Heather Wright.
The world is coming to Canada, with fans officially kicking off the 100-day countdown to the World Cup.
We got tickets for me and my family.
Antonio Aruz moved to Toronto 3 years ago and still can't believe he'll be able to cheer on his home country in his new city.
We received the notice that Panama will have 2 games here, so that's amazing.
In a city as diverse as Toronto, there are plenty of divided loyalties. Eugenio Pagnotta is half Brazilian, half Italian, born in Canada. He's rooting for Brazil, but thinks if Italy qualifies and plays Canada in its opening game, there will be a sea of Italian fans in the stands at BMO Field.
The dilemma there is interesting because Italy haven't qualified for the past 2 World Cups. If they qualify this time, BMO Field is probably going to be more blue than red.
Canada, the United States, and Mexico are hosting this year's World Cup, the first time it will be played in 3 countries and 3 time zones. Hundreds of thousands of fans are expected to descend on Toronto and Vancouver, where 13 games will be played. There has been plenty of criticism in the lead up to this tournament. Tickets have been hard to get and are expensive. Costs have soared, and there is increasing worry about political and security issues. But Canada Soccer CEO Kevin Blue says Canada is ready for the world, and fans are in store for an amazing experience.
And I think it's going to, be somewhat breathtaking as far as how much of an impact this will have on the psyche of Canadians who are looking for Canada to do great things on the biggest global stage in sports.
And so, with 100 days to go, final preparations kick into high gear for the cities playing host and the team that will take to the field. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A Burnaby man overcame prejudice and turned his childhood dreams into a reality, not achieving just one goal, but several of them. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has the story.
In the morning sun.
Ever since DJ Jackson started singing as a kid with his friends,
but we'd be on the corner just humming and, moving and grooving.
He's had 3 big dreams.
All I wanted to be was a cowboy, a singer, and a fireman.
But he never would be, DJ was told while growing up in the southern states, because of the color of his skin.
Look like nothing's gonna come my way.
But DJ was determined, got a job sweeping floors to pay for a firefighting course, and did so well, the department had to hire him as a trainee.
They treated me bad, they called me all kinds of names and stuff, but I thought, nobody's gonna ever break me.
Eventually, the prejudiced people left, and DJ earned a full-time position, which led to an historic headline in the local paper.
And I fell in love with it, man. I thought, this is it. This is my life.
But that was just one dream realized.
I left my home in Washington.
During a vacation in Vancouver, DJ experienced so many random acts of kindness, he called his mom.
And guess what? Nobody called me a today or shot at me. And she said, what? I said, and guess what, Mama? I'm staying.
Eventually, DJ did move to Canada permanently, where he achieved his other dreams of becoming a cowboy for a bit and touring as a singer for even longer.
I'm sitting on the dock of a bay.
But DJ wasn't into wasting time and started pursuing a 4th dream.
Christopher Reeves.
DJ's walls are filled with photos from the almost 180 movie and TV shows he's appeared in, along with many of the major stars he's worked with, from Adam Sandler to John Travolta.
My pride and joy. I spent 3 days with the champ, Muhammad Ali, and he taught me strength.
But if you ask Joshua who inspired him to never give up on his dreams,
mother,
he'll point to a picture of his mom.
She said, you just be you and treat everybody the same, and your day will come.
Because if you can keep singing through the low notes of life, just imagine how wonderful it will feel when you nail every single high one.
You got it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Burnaby.
Keep singing, man. All right, here's a look outside right now on the Provencher Bridge. It looks like things are moving well to start off this Wednesday morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. It's Wednesday, March the 4th. Today, left in the dark, what a grieving family is saying about a deadly crash in the Dominican Republic. Plus, seeing success, what the bail compliance unit has accomplished in its first few months. And under stress, why violent global events are causing anxiety levels to rise. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba at 7 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, there's something called a loneliness epidemic, which is people who are 55 and over tend to feel isolated. They feel lonely, especially those in rural areas. And there is a program called the Connect program that is helping them to fill that gap and fill that loneliness with events and some, connections with others. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the program itself and how you could connect with it yourself. But speaking of weather, let's switch gears a little bit. It's cool and it's windy today.
Yeah, you're going to notice those winds. They're only going to get stronger, and that's where the bite is coming from this morning, because our temperatures themselves are actually a little bit above seasonal. Not by much, but minus 14, that would be a normal low. So here we are sitting at minus 12, and you're thinking, hey, that's not too bad. Sure, until you're factoring in that wind, 31 clicks out of the north-northeast, and suddenly minus 12 feels like minus 22. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting sitting at 83%. So yeah, most of the chill is all coming from the wind. The cloud cover has actually provided that little blanket of insulation, and so we are having those slightly milder temperatures, unlike northern Manitoba, who remains in the clear with incredibly cold temperatures that you're waking up to, and even colder wind chill values. So bundle up across northern Manitoba. Another day of the extremes. Here through more of central and southern Manitoba, not the extremes, but we will remain a little bit below seasonal, because even though our temperatures this morning are that couple of degrees above normal, with a lack of sunshine and those stronger winds, the temperatures really, they're not going to be rising much, so it will still feel a little bit cool and maybe even a little bit snowy too. Parts of central Manitoba most definitely will likely see some flurries today. And even here in the south, the possibility that we see a few flakes of snow going. Now, more of that snow is going to be moving through central Manitoba and then up into the northeast for tomorrow. What we're going to see is the below seasonal temperatures for one more day and then on the rise again. -4 being normal for this time of year. So we'll get up to those numbers by the end of the week, and then surpassing that, a very mild weekend ahead, plus digits expected. Still mild into the start of next week, but then we're going to see those temperatures dropping off with precipitation coming. And thank you to 10-year-old Alexis. What a lovely drawing or coloring that you have done for us. And we now have a new way for you to submit your child's art, so visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There's a form there to fill out. You do that, your kid's art can be shown here on this show, but you'll also be entered for a monthly draw to win a gift certificate, a $100 gift certificate from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
A grieving Manitoba family says it's been left in the dark after their mother was killed and their father hospitalized in a tragic bus crash in the Dominican Republic. CTV's Danton Unger reports.
And they don't seem to care that we've already lost her and we might lose him.
Amanda Fullerton's parents, John and Colleen, left for a vacation in the Dominican Republic Saturday. The next day, Amanda received an urgent text from her uncle who was traveling with them.
In hospital, bad crash. And then he phoned and he said that all he knew was that my dad was covered in blood and my mother was unconscious.
Sunwing Vacation says on Sunday a bus transferring guests from Punta Cana International Airport to their hotels via their third-party provider Nexus Tours was involved in a crash that resulted in casualties. But in the aftermath, Amanda and her family says they didn't hear anything from the government, embassies, Sunwing, or Nexus Tours.
We found we found out our grandma had died via the news.
In their country.
Even now, they say communication with the federal government and Sunwing has been limited as they're desperately waiting for any updates about their dad's condition. All they know is that he's in the ICU.
We've had no contact. We don't know what's going on. We know he needs spinal plasty surgery if he's stable enough, and we've heard nothing.
Global Affairs Canada tells CTV News it's aware of 2 Canadians who died in the crash, but would not confirm their identities. Canadian officials are providing consular assistance and are in contact with local authorities. Due to privacy considerations, no further information can be disclosed. Meanwhile, Sunwing Vacations tells CTV News we are in close contact with Nexus Tours as well as local authorities and are actively supporting impacted guests as well as anyone who may require assistance. But Amanda and her family want more than statements from Sunwing and the federal government as they work to get her father home alive and bring her mother's body back to Canada.
We just want him home and my mom to come home where she belongs.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A Sunwing spokesperson tells CTV News it will cover all travel costs for impacted families, including flying Colleen Fullerton's body home. The airline adds the Canadian Embassy has been notifying next of kin. A unit focused on finding and arresting people who breach their bail conditions is now fully operational.
What we're looking for here is a data-driven solution, one that focuses on those who are the most high risk for public safety.
The Winnipeg Police Service Bail Compliance Unit began operation in December. It's made up of 12 police officers who monitor and enforce bail compliance. A priority is placed on high-risk offenders. Since December 15th, the unit has conducted 922 bail compliance and wanted person checks, which resulted in 366 offenders being arrested or having warrants issued.
In speaking with the unit this week, those numbers are accelerated. The period that I'm referencing includes Christmas and New Year's holiday season, and currently they're doing between 50 to 100 checks per day.
A real-time operational dashboard accessible from the police cruiser allows officers to sort by neighborhood, severity of offense, and more for what officials say is a targeted, evidence-based approach. The province has allocated $3 million to support the unit. Mental health professionals are flagging rising stress levels as coverage of the Middle East conflict dominates headlines. They say anxiety and unease are predictable responses to violent global events. Experts advise limiting endless scrolling and steering clear of inflammatory online content. Instead, they recommend people consume news intentionally and set firm screen time boundaries. Clinicians also point to exercise, conversation, and counseling as tools to steady emotional strain. A city strategy to provide people places to go is proving popular in some areas, but not in others. A report to the Community Services Committee shows nearly 48,500 people were served by a permanent washroom facility on Main Street in 2025. That's around 4,000 more visits than the year before. During that time, thousands accessed the toilets, peer support, and water. However, the two portable washrooms on Yonge Street and Cumberland Avenue experienced significant challenges, including vandalism, fires, theft, and improper disposal of sharps and other waste. It caused the city to drop the number of porta potties from 6 to 2. The Winnipeg Jets kicked off an 8-game homestand Tuesday night against the Chicago Blackhawks. Sandberg got the Jets on the board early with his first goal of the season, but Chicago responded late in the first with a power play marker to even things up. Connor Hellebuck, still fresh off his Olympic gold medal win, was in fine form in the second, stopping the Chicago rush on a number of chances. The Blackhawks took the lead early in the third, but with time winding down, Cole Perfetti scored the equalizer, and Mark Scheifele finished things off for the 3-2 win in overtime. The Jets are back in action Thursday against the Lightning. Here's what's happening now in traffic at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are slowly picking up in this part of the city and overall moving quite well. If you see any issues out on the streets, send us a text, please.
Stocks appear to be rebounding while the U.S. dollar looks like it's halting a two-day rally after a report that Iran made indirect contact with the U.S. to try and negotiate an end to the war in the Middle East, boosting hopes that the conflict could be short-lived. Operatives from Iran's Ministry of Intelligence reportedly used back channels to contact the Central Intelligence Agency a day after the U.S.-Israeli attacks began. The New York Times reporting that today. The report says officials were skeptical that either the Trump administration or Iran was ready for an off-ramp. More than a dozen Canadian and Australian pension giants, including the Canada Pension Plan, have signed a first-of-its-kind agreement to ramp up investment between the two countries, home to two of the world's largest retirement systems. The initiative was announced in Sydney on Wednesday during Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit to Australia. Under a memorandum of understanding, the first between the two systems, funds will cooperate to channel more pension capital into opportunities in both markets. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
If you like roots and folk music, Home Roots is taking a tour across the country, including in spaces here in Manitoba. Ainsley's already doing her own concert this morning. Good morning.
You can invite people into your home and have a concert. They're doing over 500 of these across Canada. And so coming up at 7:27, we're talking to some of the people who are actually hosting them, over 500 of them. They've been doing this since 2007. Everything, and they're expanding into Atlantic Canada as well. We're going to meet some of the musicians who have actually done this themselves. And earlier, Rochelle, we were jamming, and there's just something about having a concert like that in an intimate fashion that just warms your soul, especially this time of year, right? When you're looking for things to do and you're looking for things to boost your spirits. 7:27, we're going to meet some of the families.
All right. Thank you, Ainsley. It'd be so fun having musicians in my living room. Why not?
Wouldn't it? I'd totally grab a pair of spoons and be playing along.
How's it feeling out there right now?
Not bad. The sun is up now, so it's feeling a little bit better, even though the temperature itself hasn't changed. It kind of tricks the brain when it's at least a little bit brighter to seem somewhat milder or warmer. The winds, though, they're still an issue. -13 now feels like -24. with a 34K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 84%. And yes, we've got some heavier clouds hanging around over us this morning, and they're going to be pretty much hanging around throughout the day today. They might even bring a little bit of light and scattered precipitation, a better chance of that yet through central Manitoba. But the further that you go into the north, we won't see these clouds, or you won't see the clouds. I'm not headed up there. Today would not be the day to be going up north if you could avoid it, and that's because of the extreme cold warnings that Environment Canada has issued, or again has issued across all of northern Manitoba. You've been dealing with this for days, these intense temperatures that are topping out in the mid to high -20s, but wind chill values that have been in the -50s at times. This morning they're more in those mid to high -40s, but still exposed skin can freeze very quickly in these conditions. So northern Manitoba, please heed those precautions. Here in the central and southern parts of the province, yes, it'll be cloudy, yes, it'll be windy and a little bit below seasonal, but it will be warming up as we continue through the rest of the week and weekends.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
It's time now for a question of the day. Today is National Dance the Waltz Day, so we're asking, what is your favorite type of dance? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back. Morning. And now an update to a story we brought you yesterday morning. The security guard seen on video allegedly assaulting a man accused of shoplifting from a downtown store has been arrested. And a warning, you may find this video disturbing. Winnipeg police arrested the 23-year-old guard Monday night, 2 days after the incident at the Dollarama on Portage Avenue. He's charged with assault with a weapon, uttering threats, and unauthorized possession of a prohibited weapon. That's in connection to the brass knuckles he's accused of using. As we told you previously, the 46-year-old man he detained is also charged with robbery and uttering threats. Video of the encounter circulated widely online, which prompted the Major Crimes Unit to investigate. None of the charges against either man has been tested in court. Enforcement of new rules around homeless encampments in Winnipeg has slowed down in recent weeks, largely due to the cold weather. That's according to the latest verbal report at City Hall. The Public Service says since mid-November, enforcement officers have taken action against 17 encampments, which is just 3 more since the last update. The city says part of the reason for the slowdown is because displacing someone in the winter when there isn't an alternative housing option could put people's lives at risk. It also noted the province's Your Way Home strategy to end chronic homelessness appears to be having a noticeable impact. Meanwhile, another 51 sites have had garbage removed and 119 signs have been posted. 15 had to be replaced due to vandalism. Canada's intelligence agency is warning of likely cyber attacks as an act of retaliation by Iran. The Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity states pro-Iran hacktivists will likely view Canada as a target due to Canada's public support of the U.S.-Israel military activity. However, there are no confirmed attacks yet. Archaeologists in Utah dug up an unexpected type of ancient spirit.
Dried fruit notes. There's a little bit of vinegar to it, but surprisingly, I think it had held up after being in a bottle under the ground for 150 years.
The mystery bottle of booze, still corked, was dated to the 1800s. Archaeologists teamed up with a local distillery and used a needle to extract the spirit and give it a taste. Officials think it's a bottle of sherry or beer that was dug up during a construction project in the old mining town of Alta. Here's a look at traffic now at Kenaston and Sterling Lyon. Looks like things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
The downtown Winnipeg Biz is hoping to lure foodies and the culinary curious to the city's core with a new food festival kicking off next week. Between March 11th and 22nd, 31 downtown locales will be serving up limited time menu items and features. Dishes run from the gamut from breakfast and pizza flights to specialty sandwiches and sundaes. For a full rundown of what you can expect, you can head to downtownwinnipegbiz.com. The Guess Who is touring across Canada this summer, including a performance here in Winnipeg. And now we're learning they'll be playing in the U.S. as well. For the first time in more than 20 years, the band that wrote American Woman will tour America itself. They've added 20 U.S. dates to their Canadian tour, starting on June 25th in Minneapolis. The Winnipeg concert at Canada Life Centre takes place on June the 5th. Begonia has been enjoying a lot of success recently, and now the Juno Award-nominated artist is going to perform across the country, including a show here in her hometown. Begonia is bringing her Fantasy Life tour to the Burton Cummings Theatre on Friday, November 13th. The tour is named after her Juno-nominated album. Tickets for the show go on sale this Friday at 10 through Ticketmaster. And Justin Timberlake is suing to block the release of police body cam footage from his drunk driving arrest. His lawyers argue it would subject him to public ridicule and harassment. The pop star pleaded guilty to impaired driving in 2024. Police say he ran a red light while driving in New York's affluent Hamptons region. Coming up tonight on your primetime lineup, The Masked Singer starts at 7, Fear Factor House of Fear is on at 8, and Shark Tank winds up the night at 9 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV. All right, today is going to be the last cooler day of the week, Terry.
Yes, you're right about that. Only for a little while, though. We have until about early to middle of next week before we see those temperatures falling off all over again. But the days ahead are only going to continue to warm up. We're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. It looks kind of dark out there this morning, doesn't it? We're not going to be seeing much sunshine, heavier clouds, a blanket of them, keeping the temperatures on the milder side. I mean, just barely above what is normal for this time of year, but still barely above what's normal, not below. So minus 14 being that normal low temperature, and you can see all of southern Manitoba minus 13. We've got minus 16 in Dauphin. Central Manitoba is just a degree or 3 cooler. But then look at northern Manitoba as we move further into the north. Well, we've got the heavier clouds providing that blanket of insulation through central and southern Manitoba. No clouds across the north, and it is clear and incredibly cold. You can see as we're pushing up into those mid to high minus 30s, and all of that before we're even factoring in the winds. Wind chill values have an even nastier bite to them in those high minus 40s across the most northern stretch, which is why you are still under that extreme cold warning that Environment Canada issued days back, and the cold still lingers. Here in the south, yes, it does have a bit of a bite, that extra breeze, making it feel more like mid minus 20s this morning, and those winds, in fact, will only get stronger throughout the day today. You can see the blanket of clouds through central and southern Manitoba, and with them the possibility of a few scattered flakes of snow. But the temperature's not really rising much throughout the day. We'll get a few degree gains, topping out at about minus 9. Well, minus 4 is a normal daytime high, and we're not going to reach that number today, but the rest of the week will be closer to that value. Thursday, Friday, seasonal or much around that point. And then there it is for the weekend. The great big warm up, plus digits are expected, and mild continuing into next week. This little guy looking so adorable as he has a little bath in the snow. Thanks to Cecile for the photo. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
March 4th, 1975. In 1975, television cameras were allowed to record the regular proceedings of Parliament for the first time. The cameras were allowed to film a session of the Senate Committee on Legal and Constitutional Affairs. March 4th, 1982. Bertha Wilson made judicial history when she became the first woman appointed to the Supreme Court of Canada. Wilson was known for her humane and imaginative decisions. Justice Wilson retired from the High Court in January 1991. March 4th, 2019, China's state news agency announced 2 Canadians were detained on suspicion of allegedly harming national security by acting together to steal state secrets. The 2 Canadians were former diplomat Michael Kovrig and Canadian businessman Michael Spauer. We are getting a closer look at 2 different fighter jets on a NATO mission over Iceland. One of those warplanes could soon be added to Canada's fleet. Here's CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin.
On duty for NATO in Iceland, the Swedish Air Force showed off just how fast it can prepare its Gripen fighter jets for takeoff.
Our goal is to rearm, refuel, and do all the checks necessary to take off again in roughly 15 to 20 minutes on road basis.
Aircraft technician Sergeant Emil Lindgren says the made-in-Sweden jet is easy to maintain in the harsh climate of the north. That's part of the sales pitch from Swedish-based aerospace company Saab to land a deal to sell its Gripens to Canada.
We practice at home regularly in these conditions, so it's a match made in heaven, I think.
But Denmark, too, has deployed to the region. It flies the F-35s and says its advanced fighters also perform well in Iceland.
They are equipped well for this environment.
Canada has bought 16 of those jets and is now reviewing a deal to go with a full fleet or with a mixed fleet of F-35s and Gripens. Both fighters are serving in this highly strategic region as Sweden leads its first air patrol mission as a NATO member. Its mission comes at a critical time.
There's no sign of Russia scaling back on their Arctic ambitions.
Since Sweden's rotation began, there have been no Russian sightings, no incidents. But its deployment also comes in the wake of U.S. President Donald Trump's demands to acquire nearby Greenland.
I have to say, our relationship with the U.S. has been very good, and actually in the recent years it has deepened quite significantly.
But Iceland and its partners, now protecting its airspace, are training their sights on getting NATO allies to focus on common enemies.
No doubt this is all information Ottawa is analyzing as it makes its final decision on its fleet of fighter jets. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News at Keflavik Air Base in Iceland.
Ainsley McPhail is live inside someone's garage, which is also a music studio. We're going to hear a little bit more about Home Roots, which is coming up as well. Stay with us. Home Roots is a cross-Canada tour where homeowners can actually host a concert right inside their own home. And you're going to introduce us, Ainsley, now to someone who's done that in the past. Good morning.
Good morning, 2 ladies, Rochelle. So many people are doing this across the country. They're doing over 500 shows this year. Wow. Linda to my left, Michelle to my right. Michelle, why did you start doing this?
Well, I attended a concert and my mind was just blown, and I said, how can I sign up? How can I host a concert?
And what's it like to have it in your own home?
It's amazing. You have different people coming all the time with these wonderful histories and backgrounds. They're incredible musicians. All my friends and family love it. They just can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. And it's super intimate. Tell us about some of those experiences.
Oh, it's definitely intimate. Like, people can be as close as an arm's length away from the performers, and you have the opportunity to talk to them. You hear about their lives. You hear about the inspiration for some of their music. People can actually even ask questions while they're performing. And one incident that I recall is a performer using a cigar box banjo, and someone in the audience wasn't familiar with it, wanted to know what it was, and he stopped and explained how it was put together, how we used it, and it was really, really quite interesting.
And how many opportunities are we going to get to learn the intricacies of a cigar banjo? My goodness. Also, we're on our phones so much, right? Sometimes it seems like there's a disconnect. Does this allow us to kind of see the other side of things?
Oh, absolutely. Because of the intimacy, we do. We feel so connected to the musician. It's just quite an amazing experience. Nobody walks away thinking, well, that wasn't worth it. Everybody loves it, and they really clamor for the next one.
And you're going to do it again?
I've been doing it for almost 10 years. So yeah, we just keep doing it again and again and again. Yeah.
When is the next one for you guys?
The next one is coming up, I think, March the 14th. Another friend of ours who does the concerts with us is going to be hosting that one. And I believe it's Noel Francis. So that should be exciting.
That's awesome. And if you're watching from another part of Manitoba as well, this benefits you. They do the south, they do the north too. And if you're, for some reason, watching from another part of the country, head to the website because they'll be in a community near you.
Sounds so fun. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. It would be such a perfect kind of evening with your friends. Just have them in your home.
Doesn't it? Because I love live music, but I don't always want to go out. How perfect that the live music comes to you.
That would be nice. And if it's cool outside, it's even better.
Even better, exactly. Yeah, it has been a little bit cool feeling, mostly because of those winds. Our temperatures themselves are pretty much what you would expect this time of year, but the breeze does have a bite. So minus 13 feels like minus 24, and that's due to a 34K wind that's out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising, the humidity is sitting at 84%, and there's going to be a lack of sunshine today all through central and southern Manitoba. We've got these heavier clouds, and you can even see the little bit of snow, that darker gray that we're seeing moving through central Manitoba. Further into the north, plenty of sunshine is expected, but in this case, I'd rather the clouds because where it's clear, it's even colder. With extreme cold warnings that have been issued across much of northern Manitoba, you're waking up to wind chill values in the mid to high minus 40s and temperatures that will top out themselves in the mid to high minus 20s today. Winds on top of that will be making it feel even colder yet. So extreme cold warnings and that reminder that exposed skin can freeze very quickly, and you just need to take some necessary precautions when we're dealing with those kind of extremes. Here in the south, nothing extreme about it, but it will be a little bit below seasonal. A high today of minus 9, minus 4 is normal for this time of year. And on top of that, we will have those winds gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. It'll be a north wind adding an additional bite. So just be prepared for that bit of an extra chill today. Overnight, though, only dropping down to minus 13. Not a lot of movement over the next couple of days, but tomorrow we'll do better, getting closer to what is normal for this time of year. Minus 4 being that seasonal high. Moderate winds, maybe a few more pockets of sunshine, and then even warmer yet as we're looking ahead to the weekend. That's when the temperatures really soar, and we're looking at some plus temps.
Thank you, Terry. Manitoba's Commissioner of Elections is weighing in on some ads run by a political action group about the NDP. It says the ads contained false information but didn't violate any election laws. At issue were text messages and ads issued by Regina-based Canada Growth Council, Inc. in the run-up to the October 2023 election. It claimed the NDP would, if elected, allow free heroin and hard drugs for criminals. The commissioner says even if the group believed that to be true, such remarkable claims should be verified. However, he added, the Elections Act doesn't forbid false statements about a party's platform. The council didn't return our request for comment. The NDP won the election and captured 34 of the 57 legislature seats. For the first time in 15 years, Winnipeg's New Flyer Industries is building transit buses from start to finish completely in Canada. On Tuesday, New Flyer officially opened its all-Canadian build facility. The bus manufacturing facility is creating 250 direct jobs and is expected to result in hundreds of additional indirect jobs. In the past, just the shell of the bus was built here, then it was sent to the U.S. to be finished. Now New Flyer will completely design and build the transit buses right here in Winnipeg. Federal Industry Minister Mélanie Joly says New Flyer is an example for the rest of the country.
We know that what has happened here at New Flyer can become something we can do at a larger scale. And there could be New Flyer in many sectors and also in many parts of the country. And so we know that in times of hardship, Canadians roll up their sleeves and we are able to build back and build back strong. And what has happened here is an example of building Canada strong.
New Flyer is now looking for new Canadian companies to supply as many of the elements that go into the bus as possible. At the moment, the company sources them from the United States. The province spent $23 million to support New Flyer's new facility, alongside investments made by Ottawa and the company itself. Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed for deeper trade ties with Australia this morning.
To build true sovereignty, it can't be achieved in isolation. It requires diversification and partnership. Canada is focused on building a dense web of connections.
In a fireside chat, the Prime Minister said Canada is looking to expand partnerships with Australia in areas like defence, critical minerals and AI. Prime Minister Carney is in the middle of a trade trip that also saw Canada sign a series of deals with India. Controversy over those agreements have followed him to Australia. Protesters showed up outside the fireside chat venue demanding Canada step back from deepening ties with India. India has been accused of orchestrating foreign interference in Canada. Speaking to reporters yesterday, the Prime Minister didn't say if he thinks interference is still actively happening. A warning now from Canada's Digital Intelligence Agency over possible cyber attacks. The Canadian Centre for Cyber Security states pro-Iran hacktivists will likely view Canada as a target due to Canada's public support of the U.S.-Israel military activity. The warning is for critical infrastructure operators and other possible targeted entities to remain vigilant to threats posed by cyber actors aligned with Iranian interests. Now's your chance to own a piece of history. A dinosaur fossil is headed to auction.
It was found in the early 90s, and it was prepared and mounted and loaned to the Wyoming Dinosaur Center, and over 1 million people have been touched and inspired by this dinosaur.
The Triceratops skeleton, nicknamed Trey, will be open for bidding from March 17th to the 31st. It will be listed on Jupiter, which is an online auction platform founded by Pharrell Williams. The fossil has a pre-auction estimate of $4.5 to $5.5 million. But if you're in the market, you'll need to make sure you have the space. Trey measures 5.3 meters long. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The median lanes on Donald and Smith will be closed today between Ellis and Notre Dame Avenue. Following the rush, the westbound curb lane on Goulet Street will be closed from Taché to St. Mary's Road, and the westbound median lane on Ellis Avenue will be closed between Furby and Sherbrooke. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is rising. It's $1.40 right now. The provincial average is $1.32. In Winnipeg, the average is also $1.32, and the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.07. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Here's a look outside right now. It is cloudy and minus 13. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this.
Here's a look outside. Ooh, it looks like there's just a little slice right along the horizon there where we might be able to see a little bit of blue sky, but you can see that blanket of heavy clouds just above that, and that's pretty much what's going to hang over us through most of the day today. It's minus 13. It feels though like minus 24. That's once you're factoring in that 34K wind out of the north-northeast, the pressure rising, and the humidity is sitting at 84%. So yes, we've got these heavy clouds. You can see them here on the satellite image as well, all through central and southern Manitoba, with even some scattered snow in there as well. So things could be a little bit blustery, especially because not only will we deal with the snow, a little bit of some stronger winds as well. Then there's northern Manitoba. It looks clear. It's incredibly cold, enough so that Environment Canada has once again issued, or I guess held in place, those extreme cold warnings that have been there for days now. With these as your expected high temperatures, low to high minus 20s, and then factoring those winds, it's going to be feeling much colder yet. This morning you're waking up to wind chill values that are in the mid to high minus 40s, and exposed skin can freeze very quickly in those conditions. A little more sunshine, yes, throughout northern Manitoba, but then moving through central and southern Manitoba, you'll encounter not just those heavier clouds, the possibility of some precipitation as well. And sure, the temperatures will be a little bit below seasonal, not the shocking kind of temperatures that northern Manitoba will experience, but just for example, minus 4, that would be a normal daytime high, and nobody is really going to be in that zone save for the very southern part of the province, or further to the east of us, northwestern Ontario might see slightly milder temperatures the further east you go. Now we'll get those slightly milder temperatures on tap for tomorrow and the rest of the week, and then even more so for the weekend. Look at the weekend, plus digit temperatures, and then staying still very mild into the start of next week before the mercury drops off, and then will remain cool for a few days.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Home Roots, which is a traveling concert tour across the country. Now you're going to introduce us to one of the musicians who's going on tour. Good morning.
Good morning. And yeah, we've already talked to some of the participants who have invited people into their homes. We're seeing the other side of things now. I'm alongside Scott Nolan. This is your garage. This is the famous Scott garage that I was chatting about earlier. This is the best spot ever.
Oh, thanks. I call it the song shop.
That's awesome. Home roots, though, having that other perspective, going into people's homes. What's that like?
It's wild. It's an adventure. You really, I always joke it's like the full folk experience to have the band in your home after the show and eating your food and sleeping in the kids' old room, you know, like I've slept in race car beds and bunk beds and, you know, you never really know. You don't know night to night what the experience is going to be. So it's fun. Yeah, it's alive. You feel alive.
Mm-hmm. And the music, tell us about that intimacy when it comes to performing.
It's kind of my favorite in a way. We go where the big screen TV normally goes. And when you start the night, it feels weird. Like, this is weird. Only weird people would do this. But then the show starts and you realize, no, this is like maybe the most normal thing there is. But it's, it's just interesting because it's, you know, people get an unscripted performance typically. It's hard to go into a tour like that with a scripted show. You know, it's really too intimate, and it demands more out of you. And you're kind of when the show ends, you're still there. Like it's not like you go back to a hotel, so you're kind of on for the whole 24 hours that you're there in a way, and it's really interesting. Really quick.
Northern Manitoba, like we talk about stories, things that have happened. What happened when it came to a big snowstorm?
We got the blizzard, biggest blizzard in 65 years. It was the first time they closed the schools in 65 years. And we were in the PAW when it hit, doing the Northern Manitoba route. And it was, looking back, it was still really a great time. I had a lot of fun, you know.
I love that. Thank you so much. Home roots happening across Canada. How exciting is that? Winnipeg is one of those destinations. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Well, indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Explore vibrant markets and serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. A beaver named Bo has become best friends with a woman who saved her. ABC's Danny New has this story.
On this World Wildlife Day,
Bo helps people see beavers as they've never seen them before.
We are meeting a pair of best friends who have been on an educational mission together.
Oh my gosh. He's waving. She's waving at me.
Over the past 2 years, Alexis and a beaver at her animal rehabilitation facility named Bo have been picking up millions of views online.
She fit right in the palm of my hand.
As she details their journey from rescuer and rescuee to being close enough to groom each other.
I'm just using my fingers like little beaver teeth, and that's just how she builds family bonds that have, like she considers us to be a colony.
Alexis first took in Bo 2 years ago after a flash flood led to her being found abandoned near Alexis's home in upstate New York. Alexis says she and her team looked everywhere for her family.
It was a series of miracles that had to line up for her to survive.
She's healthy now, but Bo did eventually lose her eye to disease, and her immune system in general is just forever compromised. So, unlike the other beavers in Alexis's care,
hey, Bo.
Bo is just going to have to stay under her supervision.
I can't go in there with you.
However, she gets out plenty, and as you can see, actually communicated to Alexis that she wanted to swim together, so she had to get a wetsuit. In the summer, they now swim regularly in the pond together. Also, Bo even served as ring bearer at Alexis and her now husband's wedding.
She just waddled it on down the aisle. It was really honestly perfect.
In fact, Bo is even now a certified educational ambassador, and the two of them now travel to teach young folks about why beavers are so important to the environment and to our future.
They filter the water. They even create carbon sinks to help fight climate change, and they prevent natural disasters like wildfires and drought. It's good that Bo's here to remind people just how important they are.
For ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 78th birthday, Donna, with lots of love from your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Okay, -9, that's likely as warm as it'll get for us today, and that will keep us below seasonal because normal highs for this time of year would be -4. Now, we did a little better than that back last year at almost the freezing mark, just barely below, but it was all the way back in 2007 that almost 13 degrees was reached, 12.7. Talk about a shock to the system. Well, we will be in for perhaps some plus digits this coming weekend, nowhere near 13 degrees, but well above seasonal. And in fact, even as early as tomorrow, we're going to see a return to those more seasonal temperatures, but today will not be that day. It's going to remain a little bit cool. It's also a little bit cloudy out here. These heavier clouds will likely last throughout the day today through central and southern Manitoba. Could even see a few flakes of snow. -13, though, feels more like -24 once you're factoring in those winds, and those winds are noticeable and will get even stronger yet today. At the moment, 34 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 84%. So yes, central and southern Manitoba have the heavier clouds and that possibility of some scattered snow. But for northern Manitoba, it's the cold that you're dealing with. Another day of the extremes. Environment Canada has been issuing the extreme cold warnings in your areas. You're still waking up to those wind chill values in the mid to high -40s, and that is dangerously cold, so you need to take the necessary precautions. Here in the south, yes, below seasonal, high of -9, but we will see some improvements throughout the rest of the week.
As people reach their golden years, isolation and loneliness can often affect older adults. The University of Manitoba's Department of Psychology has partnered with the Canadian Institutes of Health Research to create a group program to help combat loneliness among people 55 plus. It's called the Connect program. And joining us now to tell us more about the Connect program and how it works is clinical psychologist Kristen Reynolds. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is something that's been going on really across the country, across the world. There's this loneliness epidemic, isn't there? What is that exactly?
Absolutely. So we define loneliness as a perception of being isolated from other people, and really it comes down to how we would like our social networks to be, and how that's not occurring maybe in someone's day-to-day life. And it's heavily related to social isolation. So when we pull away from others, when we pull away from our communities, it can be linked to all kinds of negative mental health and physical health outcomes like depression, anxiety, and all kinds of health outcomes, and cognitive abilities can be impacted as well. And we know here in Canada that about 1 out of 10 Canadians who are 55 years and older identify as being lonely always or often. So it's a big concern here in our country as well as throughout the world.
And this is often, you know, people who do have children that might not live in the same community, or they live in rural areas, or they might not have as many friends as they used to because some of them have passed on or they're not working anymore.
Absolutely.
What are some of these factors that are happening for them?
Yeah, that's so important to think about. So there's so many life transitions that happen as we get older, whether it's retirement or we're losing those who are close to us, and changes in family as well. So there's a lot of risk factors that promote loneliness, and really it's important as a community to and as families to identify when someone is sort of pulling away from activities or from just their typical way of being. And so our Connect program is one of many programs throughout the province and the country that really seeks to help out with this epidemic of loneliness nationally and globally, and it's offered in collaboration with A&O Support Services here in Manitoba.
Okay.
And so what we seek to do is offer telephone-based and virtual group sessions for adults who are 55 years and older who might be showing signs of loneliness and social anxiety, as well as co-occurring anxiety or depression. And through this group program that we've developed that's funded by the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, we're seeing really wonderful rates of depression going down, anxiety going down, social networking and social connections improving. And we're offering this program throughout the country in several different provinces. So we're feeling really hopeful about this particular Connect program, and then it also fits really nicely with the province's newly introduced social prescribing effort. So we're happy to see that
so
too.
let's talk about that. What is that exactly?
Yeah, so social prescribing is really an integrated care model of if an older adult presents to a healthcare provider and that healthcare provider identifies that maybe there's some social isolation or loneliness that's being experienced, they can link that particular client or patient up with a seniors resource coordinator who can then work with that older adult to identify what are some possible next steps for them, whether that's service navigation, navigating mental health or physical health care services broadly in the community, transportation supports, meal supports. So it's a really nice holistic model of care that that otherwise we didn't have in our province. So it's huge.
If there is someone at home watching right now and they're thinking this might be something that they need for their loved one, what should they do?
Yes, absolutely. I think having those conversations about, I'm noticing this about you. Are you noticing that you are staying home more often, are not picking up the phone, and perhaps if you attend a healthcare appointment with that older person, helping them to have those conversations with their doctor.
Okay, thank you, Kristen, for this. And if you want more information.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we take you to the ice. We got a little NCAA women's hockey. And check out this save from UConn's Tia Chan. Diving in desperation, gets a glove on what looked like a sure goal for Holy Cross. One of her 27 saves on the night as she earns the must-see moment from Tuesday. And coming up today on TSN, we've got full coverage of the 2026 Montana's Brier. It all gets underway at 1 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1 and 5. That's all from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Wednesday, March the 4th. Today, crash aftermath. Why a Manitoba family says they were left in the dark after a deadly crash in the Dominican Republic. Plus, legislature returns. MLAs are back today with more than 19 bills promised after a heated fall sitting. And high-flying tech, how a student-built drone could change the way firefighters battle blazes. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 8:15, TEDx Winnipeg is happening on May 28th. They have a whole list of speakers tackling all kinds of topics. One of the topics is coming from a beekeeper who is saying that a bee's life, they all have an important job in that beehive. We could use what they do in our own personal lives. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that. And then at 8:45, we're going to introduce you to the 2026 champion child for the Children's Hospital Foundation. Stay tuned for that. But the weather, it's cool today, but not for long.
I could be a little bee and enjoy some flowers this time of year, right? A little warm weather and flowers and sunshine and all of those things. We're not going to be seeing anything like that. No sunshine probably for the next day or two. Maybe tomorrow we'll start to see a little bit more, but likely not today. It's very cloudy out there, overcast conditions as we're waking up to minus 13, sorry. It feels more like minus 24, in fact, once you're taking that breeze into account, and that breeze is only going to get stronger. At the moment, it's 34 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 84%. So yes, the heavier clouds, things are looking a little bit gray and gloomy. Central southern Manitoba, that's how today will play out. In fact, more than clouds, there's even the possibility of the scattered precipitation, especially moving through southern Manitoba, but we could see a flake or two here in the south as well. Northern Manitoba, so much clearer, so much brighter, plenty of sunshine, incredibly cold. Extreme cold warnings have been issued by Environment Canada, and you're waking up to wind chill values in the mid to high -40s. And those are still going to be in place this afternoon, even though it's going to warm up somewhat from the -30s into the mid to high -20s. That's what you'll be topping out with today as far as temperatures go. Here in the south, it will be below seasonal as well. And yes, heavier clouds, maybe even some scattered snow, maybe a few more pockets of sunshine once we're looking ahead to tomorrow here or there. Another round of snow, though. This is going to move through central Manitoba and then up into the north. So things could start to warm up a little bit across northern Manitoba in the days ahead. Here in the south, we're certainly in for a warm up in the days ahead, because after today, we're back to seasonal to finish off the work week and then pushing up into the plus digits as we're looking ahead to the coming weekend. And our art today is a big thanks to 10-year-old Alexa. Very detailed. I love what you've done, and we'd love to see more of your art. So there's a new way to submit. You have to head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form there. Then your art could be showcased here on this show, but you're also going to be entered into a monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate from Crock-a-Doodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crock-a-Doodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
A family in Winnipeg is searching for answers this morning after a deadly bus crash in the Dominican Republic. Sunwing Vacation says on Sunday, a bus transferring guests from Punta Cana International Airport to their hotels via their third-party provider Nexus Tours was involved in a crash that resulted in casualties. But Amanda Fullerton and her family say they have received little to no information on the death of her mother or the condition of her dad. Amanda says it was only after seeing a news report in the Dominican Republic that they found out her mother was killed. Global Affairs Canada released a statement saying Canadian officials are providing consular assistance and are in contact with local authorities. Meanwhile, Sunwing Vacations tells CTV News we are in close contact with Nexus Tours as well as local authorities and are actively supporting impacted guests. Politicians will be back at the Manitoba Legislature today as winter break is over. The fall sitting began in mid-November and largely focused on taxes and the cost of living. Premier Wab Kinew's NDP government has said it plans to bring forward at least 19 more bills, including a ban on machetes in public places. The fall session was also marked by heated debate, with the New Democrats calling the Tories misogynists and tofu eaters, and the Tories calling Kinew a liar and a criminal. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Donald Street. Things have picked up over here, as you can see. Slowed down a little bit as well. If you see any problems out on the streets, send us a text, please.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Ainsley McPhail is telling us all about Home Tour, or Home Roots, which is a cross-Canada music tour, including some stops here in Manitoba. And now we're going to hear a jamming session. Good morning.
Good morning. 2 of the 3 people you see on your screen right now are very talented musicians. I'm going to let you guess which ones as we go through this segment. Leonard Podolak to my immediate left, Scott to my farther left. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to be jamming out, but first, tell us about Home Roots.
Well, it's an organization that I find myself to be implicated with, but it started in 2007 with the idea of creating more opportunity for folk musicians in Canada to have gigs, while at the same time creating platforms for like-minded and movers and moving and shaking kind of people to bring community together. And folk music is a great way to do that, and it's been going really well.
Scott Nolan, tell us a little bit about some of the tours that you've done in the past.
I've done a whole bunch. I was snowed in the Paw in the biggest blizzard in 65 years, and I played a mining bar in Snow Lake, Manitoba, where I had this deja vu that I'd been drinking with my father in there when I was like 10. And I remembered because his friend had a glass eye that he would pop out, and it would land in a shot glass, and he'd say, "Hey, kid, watch my drink." And I told the story at my gig, And the audience were like, oh my God, that's Bud McIntosh. And so it's like, you know, it's truly the most folk thing you can do. You know, it's where all the stories are. It's where all the best stories are.
So I don't want to take away from the music. Childhood is great, though. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, guys.
Bullet holes in the mile marker in a border town. Full rent sign on the IGA in a border town. All the young people looking to get gone. How the town's to blame when everything goes wrong. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Betty's in the hair salon, where the ladies like to gossip about the men that let their hair grow long. In God and country we believe.
One Great Lottery is one great way to help support 52 local charities right across Manitoba, all while giving you a chance to win big. One of those organizations is Camp Manitou with the True North Youth Foundation. Camp Director Jeff Hofer joins us today. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks a lot for having me.
Well, let's chat about this. This is very exciting. Now, how is One Great Lottery maybe a little bit different from other types of lotteries like it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can donate to the One Great Lottery, and you can select one charity like ours to support, or you can spread your funds across to the rest of them. And then throughout the month, there's early bird draws and one big draw. So it's a fun way to support local. It all stays within Manitoba.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk a bit more about Camp Manitou and what you do with the True North Foundation. How does this money really benefit you? First of all, let's talk a bit about what you do, and then we'll talk a bit about how that money goes to help you do what you do.
Yeah, for sure. We're under the umbrella. We have our three main programs. So I'm with Camp Manitou. We try to bring as many kids to experience camp, especially those that wouldn't normally get the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So kids with disabilities, low-income families, underserved youth. And then we have the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Academy, which is a school-based hockey program. They help about 800 kids a year get to school, graduate, after-school programming, all sorts of stuff. They follow kids right from grade 4 to grade 12. And then we support those kids at camp as well. And then we have Project 11 as well. So that's a mental health curriculum in Manitoba, which helps kids deal with mental health issues and a bunch of different stuff. So through our three programs, we actually reach about 120,000 kids a year.
It is a busy place.
Yeah.
I've been out to see the good work that you do. And to do all that good work, it takes a lot of money, and that's where One Great Lottery comes in. So if somebody chooses your organization to support you and all the good work that you do out there, why is that funding so critical for you?
It's huge for us. We're one of the few NHL charities that does our own programming, so it takes a lot of funding, and luckily Manitobans are very generous through Jets 50/50 and programs like One Great Lottery. It's really important to grow our impact, to reach more kids and increase the impact of the youth that we are already working with.
Now, One Great Lottery, what's new this time around?
So yeah, for March, it's the Luck of the Irish kind of thing.
Yes.
So March 4th, if you buy before 11:59 p.m., you're entered for that first early bird draw, which is $10,000. That's a big one. And then the other early bird draws are the 11th and I believe the 18th, and then the big draw is the 25th. So if the earlier you buy, the more chances you have to win, and the bigger prizes you can win. And then that lottery, the big pot at the end, is split amongst 13 Manitobans and can make a real big impact in someone's life, and it will impact all these great charities in Manitoba doing great work.
And absolutely, and I'll mention too that guaranteed jackpot starts at $100,000, which will be split 13 ways. So you're right, it could have a big impact on your organization as well as on someone's life if they win big.
Absolutely, yeah, and there's a lot of great charities in this with us, and either way, your money is supporting someone doing some great work in Manitoba.
Last thing we need to do is tell people where they can go to find tickets.
Go to onegreatlottery.ca.
It's as simple as that. Jeff, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bath Fitter. exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. It's been a cloudy start to the day. It's probably going to be a cloudy end to the day. I don't think we're going to be seeing too much in the way of sunshine for today. And the temperatures, well, they're kind of back to seasonal as far as morning temperatures go, but our expected highs today will keep us well below seasonal because we're not going to see a whole lot of movement with the mercury here throughout the south today. Minus 12 is where we're sitting right now. Similar temperatures all through the south. Central Manitoba, just a few degrees cooler, more in those mid to high minus teens, and then a lot cooler across northern Manitoba, mid to high minus 20s, or even into the low to mid or high minus 30s. That's the most northern part of the province where extreme cold warnings have been issued by Environment Canada, and really not surprising at all. Take a look at these wind chill values, and they are a bit of a shock to the system in the high minus 40s all throughout northern Manitoba. Now here in the south, we're also dealing with some stronger winds, and that's making it feel in the low to mid minus 20s. And those winds today could get even stronger as the day goes on. Now, there's really not much to show you here on the satellite image. A little bit of flurry activity could move through central Manitoba. We've got the heavier clouds here in the south and central, and then the clearer sky up north, but that's where it is so incredibly cold. With those extra clouds hanging around, the temperature won't be budging much, topping out at about minus 9. Well, a normal daytime high here through southern Manitoba, that would be around minus 4. So not getting anywhere near that today, but we're back to seasonal temperatures for tomorrow and Friday to finish off the work week. And then look at the weekend, plus digits, a little bit of sunshine too, and remaining mild into the start of the week before those temperatures start to drop off with a little bit of precipitation on the way. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Stocks appear to be rebounding while the U.S. dollar looks like it's halting a two-day rally after a report that Iran made indirect contact with the U.S. to try and negotiate an end to the war in the Middle East, boosting hopes that the conflict could be short-lived. Operatives from Iran's Ministry of Intelligence reportedly used back channels to contact the Central Intelligence Agency a day after the U.S.-Israeli attacks began, the New York Times reporting that today. The report says officials were skeptical that either the Trump administration or Iran was ready for an off-ramp. More than a dozen Canadian and Australian pension giants, including the Canada Pension Plan, have signed a first-of-its-kind agreement to ramp up investment between the two countries, home to two of the world's largest retirement systems. The initiative was announced in Sydney on Wednesday during Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit to Australia. Under a memorandum of understanding, the first between the two systems, funds will cooperate to channel more pension capital into opportunities in both markets. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
There are many workers in a beehive, including the queen, the worker bees, and drone bees. They all play important roles and work well together. That's teamwork on a scale that is hard to imagine, but the little creatures help our ecosystem and create a sweet treat as well. It's also a work ethic that can be adopted in our everyday lives. And that's the topic of a TED Talk for TEDx Winnipeg, which is happening in May. Beekeeper and owner of Prairie Sweetheart Honey, Rebecca Krowelski, is presenting her TED Talk titled Small and Mighty Powerful Lessons from the Hive. Joining us now is Rebecca Krowelski. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
I love that you're in yellow, you have a bee necklace, your phone has a bee, so bees are your whole life.
They are my passion, that is for sure.
How did this happen for you?
Honestly, I consider the bees like a gift from my mom. Back when I was in Creecom, I was doing a project on the health benefits of bee pollen and royal jelly, and she supported everything I did. So she gave me this book, The Secret Life of Bees, and it was the last thing she gave me. She went to Guatemala and passed away, saving someone's life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was so tragic. So that book took on new meaning for me. And it's the story of a little girl who loses her mother and finds love in this community of women beekeepers. So the messages of grief were very healing for me, and as I reread that book, the bees were coming out more. So that's kind of where it all got started. And so from there, I took years later, after learning more and more about bees, the beekeeping for the hobbyist course at the U of M.
Okay.
And I got my mentor, Ted Schunemann, who was this 90-year-old German wise, you know, bee whisperer, who taught me the bees really are the best beekeepers around, to listen to the bees. And that was in 2015. I learned from him in our TED Talks for over a year before I got my own bees back in 2016. So about 10 years I've been managing my own colonies.
And you've learned so much from the bees. You've been doing this for 10 years.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about some of the surprising things about a bee's life that some people might not know about.
Bees are fascinating in so many ways. They function as a superorganism, like one unit. And so their main purpose is survival of the species. But to do that, they really have to communicate, and they communicate on so many different levels. They're way better at communicating than humans are.
Okay.
And so it's through this, you know, they do touch and vibration. And so I see it in the hive, like dancing to tell each other where the great sources of pollen are. I literally witness it in the hive.
So you're kind of technically learning their language in some weird way.
I do, yeah.
Cool.
I speak bee.
Okay. So your TED Talk is coming up. You're giving tips on what we can learn from the hive and take into our own lives. I know you don't want to give all your secrets away.
Yes.
So what's one tip that we could take from you today?
You know, bees, they don't work in this world of, you know, comparison and hierarchy and judgment. And, you know, there's no, who brought in more pollen than we did? And, you know, the size of the bees, they don't pay attention to that. The colors of the bees, they come in all different kinds of colors. So they just work together as one unit, making collective decisions. And so for us as human beings, especially in this, you know, uncertain world we're living in today, there's so many ways we can learn from the bees in different senses. So.
Well, if you want to hear more, the TEDx Winnipeg is happening on May 28th, and of course you're going to be there, Rebecca. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, great lessons, I'm sure, to be taken from the bees and nature of all kind. Now, what is Mother Nature throwing us today? Some heavier clouds, but we will take it, knowing that there's a great big warm-up to come for us this weekend, a little bit of patience, and we have to get a little bit of the yin, a little bit of the yang. So here we go with the slightly cool and below seasonal temperatures for yet another day before the warm-up takes us closer to what is normal for the rest of the week. We're sitting right now at -13, which actually isn't far off of normal. It's just our daytime highs that are going to be missing the mark. Now, there will be a wind. It's right now 27 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast, and that makes it feel like -22 out here, so you might want that extra layer on. Pressure rising, humidity at 84%. You know where you're going to need more than a few extra layers. All of the layers required across northern Manitoba, where once again extreme cold warnings are in place. Environment Canada issued them days back, and they continue as the cold weather continues, with wind chill values pushing you into the mid to high -40s all across northern Manitoba. Though the conditions are clear, is incredibly cold. And then there's central and southern Manitoba, where we're not going to be seeing much in the way of sunshine today as the heavier clouds hang over us. Could even see a few flakes of snow. And the slightly below seasonal temperatures for one more day before we're back to normal tomorrow and Friday, and surpassing that big time with a warm up this weekend that'll take us above the freezing mark. Our weather picture today is this adorable little squirrel having a bath out in the snow. Thanks to Cecile for sharing this with us. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Today we're going to learn some ways to maybe cut costs on vacation. Consumer and travel expert Barry Choi joins us this morning. Good morning, Barry. Happy to have this chat.
Good morning.
Okay, let's start first of all maybe with some people who haven't booked yet. Let's talk about some ways that maybe they can save a few bucks.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is be flexible. Spring break and winter travel is usually the most expensive times of the year to travel, quickly followed by the summer holidays. So if you can travel during off season, it can save you a little bit of money. And one other trick I like to do, or rather I recommend, is tell people to research different cities and countries. This way you get an accurate idea of how much it's going to cost you to take that trip, so then you can make that informed decision based on your budget.
Excellent. My biggest tip is always outside of those windows, right, when everybody is traveling too, because you don't want all the extra crowds and whatnot. So anytime you can avoid that, great tip there. Let's talk about some foreign transaction fees, what they are and how to avoid them.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize is that most Canadian credit cards charge a foreign transaction fee of up to 3%. And in some cases, that's on top of other fees that you may not even know you're paying. That can obviously bust your budget, and we don't want that. And one way to avoid that, and it's one of my favorite reasons I love Wise, is it's a simple, safe way to move and manage your money around the world. You can send money to more than 160 countries. In addition, if you have the Wise card, you can hold and spend in more than 40 currencies. So it's an easy way to spend like a local. What's great about Wise is they always use the mid-market exchange rate with low and transparent fees. So you always know what you're paying with no hidden costs.
Very nice and excellent tips for those credit card users. Let's talk about cash though. Cold hard cash. Do you get it before you go? Do you get it once you get there? What are your tips there?
You know what, that's a great question. I always tell people to carry a little bit of cash before they go, just in case you come across a vendor or place that only accepts credit or debit, right? But here's the trick. I was talking about the Wise card earlier. Well, it acts like a debit card. That means you can go to foreign ATMs and withdraw cash at those low transparent fees I was talking about. So you can spend like a local wherever you're traveling to. What's great about Wise is that if you go to wise.com, you can learn more about the Wise account and order your free Wise card. And basically, it gives you easy access to cash at a predictable rate.
Okay, how about some other maybe like little sneaky costs that we should be aware of?
You know, one thing that a lot of people have probably come across and they don't even know is called dynamic currency conversion. That's where if you're at an ATM or a merchant and they ask you to pay in the local currency or Canadian dollars, always choose the local currency because it's cheaper. I know you look at Canadian dollars and it's like, oh yeah, I understand what the exchange rate, this is great. But here's the thing, those banks, ATMs, and merchants, they can actually mark up that exchange rate, which can cost you a lot. And one other tip that I always tell people to look into is data plans when you're abroad. Obviously, if you use your cell phone abroad, it can be very expensive. Pre-purchase a roaming data plan or get an eSIM or even a local SIM card. It can save you a lot.
Okay, and how about one more just quickly before we wrap up? What's your take on travel insurance?
I personally think whenever you travel, you should just budget travel insurance as part of your costs. You know, travel medical insurance is non-negotiable. You want to make sure you have it just in case an emergency comes up and you need medical attention. It can be expensive overseas. And extended travel insurance like trip cancellation and delayed baggage, you know, it's always a nice to have and it just gives you an extra peace of mind. So just get it and then you'll feel much more confident when you're traveling.
Yeah, I feel like that peace of mind would really come in handy these days too when you're traveling. So great suggestion there. Barry, thanks so much for joining us today and sharing all these tips.
No problem, anytime.
All right, here's a look outside now at Portage Avenue. It looks like things are moving well in this part of the city. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
All right, things are looking a little bit gray today with the overcast conditions that we're waking up to. It's minus 13. It feels like minus 22, and that's because of the winds that are out of the north-northeast at 27 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 84%. Those clouds, they're going to stick around all day long through central and southern Manitoba. That's where you'll notice them, and perhaps even a little bit of scattered precipitation. You can see the darker gray showing up through the more central part of the province. So some possible flurries, but we too could see a little bit of activity here in the south. At least the chance is there. Less of a chance, though, across northern Manitoba where it's too cold to snow. I mean, we're looking at temperatures that are well below seasonal, waking up to wind chill values in those high minus 40s this morning. Clear conditions, but Environment Canada has once again issued the extreme cold warnings all across northern Manitoba. Nothing extreme about the temperatures that we'll reach today here in the south, but it will be below seasonal, at least by a few degrees, even though our morning temperatures are pretty much what you would expect this time of year. It's our daytime highs that are going to be just shy of the seasonal -4. So we'll top out at about -9. We will deal with some stronger winds, at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour, easing overnight. As we drop down to -13, just only a few degrees loss with some heavier clouds still lingering, but a few more breaks in those clouds tomorrow and a few more gains with the temperatures as we're back up to what you would expect this time of year, or at least close to it, both tomorrow and Friday. So finishing off the work week around what's normal for this time of year, and then climbing to above seasonal temperatures. Plus digits on tap this coming weekend, some sunshine to enjoy, and still mild into the start of the week before those temperatures start to dip again.
A unit focused on finding and arresting people who breach their bail conditions is now fully operational.
What we're looking for here is a data-driven solution, one that focuses on those who are the most high risk for public safety.
The Winnipeg Police Service Bail Compliance Unit began operation in December. It's made up of 12 police officers who monitor and enforce bail compliance. A priority is placed on high-risk offenders. Since December 15th, the unit has conducted 922 bail compliance and wanted person checks, which resulted in 366 offenders being arrested or having warrants issued.
In speaking with the unit this week, those numbers are accelerated. The period that I'm referencing includes Christmas and New Year's holiday season, and currently they're doing between 50 to 100 checks per day.
A real-time operational dashboard accessible from the police cruiser allows officers to sort by neighborhood, severity of offense, and more for what officials say is a targeted, evidence-based approach. The province has allocated $3 million to support the unit. If there is one word to describe the stock markets right now, it would be volatile.
I think there'll be some opportunities here for some of the potentially higher risk names that have got hit quite hard to potentially look at these as entry points to get back into them.
Markets fell, then turned green on Monday, but then at yesterday's open, both the Dow and TSX dropped about 1,000 points. Markets in Asia kept the sell-off this morning. However, Wall Street is up right now in pre-market trading. As stocks go on a roller coaster ride, energy prices have gone up consistently this week. Oil has jumped by 15% since the U.S. and Israel started bombing Iran on Saturday. In an update this morning, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth confirmed it was an American submarine that sunk an Iranian warship near Sri Lanka.
An American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II.
Sri Lanka's Navy says there were around 180 people on that ship. About 140 people are missing. During the briefing, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff say the next move is to push further into Iran.
We will now begin to expand inland, striking progressively deeper into Iranian territory and creating additional freedom of maneuver for U.S. forces.
General Dan Kane warned that the operation is complex, dangerous, and far from over. Students from across the country are in a competition to fight fires using drones. CTV's Spencer Turcott has more.
A drone powers up and its creators clear the way.
Area clear, wind weather okay.
Within seconds, liftoff. But who are the people behind this high-tech device?
We are Waterloo Aerial Robotics Group, or WARG for short.
Every year, they compete in the Aerial Evolution Association of Canada's student competition. In May, they'll go up against 20 other Canadian post-secondary schools in Ottawa. So what's this year's challenge?
This year, they are shifting the theme to urban firefighting. This year's tasks are identifying targets all around a building, moving equipment from one location to another location, and extinguishing these targets using water.
The team, made up of mostly engineering students, was in charge of building it from scratch, and they'll be responsible for navigating it using open source software.
Allows us to see a lot of statistics from the drones and information. We need to be able to show the judges that we can identify and extinguish fire targets. It'll be identified by colored pieces of paper.
Despite their advanced knowledge and skills, don't forget, they're still students and have done all of this amid their studies.
We're still doing our classes, and we also have the privilege of being in Waterloo's co-op system. So we have a lot of people coming in and out.
Another thing working against them has been this winter's weather.
We really prefer not to fly in any inclement weather.
So they're taking advantage of a rare sunny day with no heavy snow falling. With a couple of months left to fine-tune the drone until it is put to the test, they do have winning on their mind. But more importantly, they're excited to think about how their flying robot could help save lives. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Waterloo.
Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along the Norwood Bridge. Looks like things have lightened up in this part of the city and overall moving quite well. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is rising at $1.40. The provincial average is $1.32. It's the same in Winnipeg. And the lowest price in the city is $1.07. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is National Dance the Waltz Day. We asked, what's your favorite type of dance? YMCA was Susan's answer. Matthew likes the chicken dance. Pat's favorite dance is Latin, especially a cha-cha. Marlene likes free dancing to music and always wanted to learn salsa. Jackie shared, love the two-step, and I envy those that can do a beautiful traditional waltz. Safety dance is Greg's favorite. The neutron dance shared a viewer, and tap dance is Debbie's favorite. Thank you so much for your responses. And if you're dancing, it's because there's some good music on in the background. Ainsley, tell us more about Home Roots.
Oh, the best transition, isn't it? Home Roots right literally into the homes of Manitobans. Leonard and Scott are joining us once again for one final jam session in the coolest garage I've ever seen. Leonard, you're asking people to literally open up their homes to local musicians. What does that really mean for the final result?
Well, it means that you're going to meet somebody who has had a completely different life experience than you, who is super talented and outgoing and has the ability to break down the fourth wall between themselves and the audience and create a really special atmosphere. And it's a beautiful opportunity to bring your community together and discover something new.
What does it mean for the musicians themselves, too? Because this has actually, since '07, brought in millions of dollars to them.
That's right. Well, as you can tell, I'm a five-string banjo player, and I also have a real job. But yeah, you know, the idea of Home Roots was to create more infrastructure, more shows, more opportunities for acoustic musicians in the country. So what it does is it creates 2 weeks of an inexpensive way to make money and to do touring for artists. And nowadays, I think in the crazy world that we live in, empowering artists is very important because it's an investment that comes right back into society in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to have the absolute privilege of listening to it this morning. Take it away, guys.
That's a good way to warm you up, Terry.
Yes, finally. I've been waiting all morning to hear them play, but good things come to those who wait. So thank you for sharing that music with us. And as far as good things come to those who wait, you know what? This weekend, a big warm-up is coming. I know we're still dealing with these cool and below seasonal temperatures for another day, especially across northern Manitoba, but things will start to improve after today. We're right now sitting at -13. Our temperatures this morning, that's not where the issue is. We're actually pretty much close to what is normal for this time of year for these morning temperatures. It'll be the lack of gains that we make today that keep us below seasonal. And the winds that are going to add an additional bite. A 27K wind right now out of the north-northeast makes it feel like -22. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 84%. But we can hardly complain about these slightly below seasonal temperatures here across southern northern Manitoba, when northern Manitoba has been stuck in the deep freeze for days and still waking up to wind chill values in the high -40s, and those extreme cold warnings issued or is still in place once again. It is clear up north. You get the sun shining at least, but incredibly cold temps, whereas here in the south just slightly below seasonal. -4 would be a normal daytime high. For the rest of the week, we'll be back in that zone, and then the weekend, I promise that warm up plus digits waiting for us Saturday and Sunday. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
There's still time to answer our question of the day. Today is National Dance the Waltz Day, so we're asking, what is your favorite type of dance? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
A flash illuminating the night sky of Vancouver following a big boom. Take a listen to this. People all over the south coast and even down in Washington state were jolted from it. It happened just after 9 p.m. last night. An earthquake seismologist with Natural Resources Canada says was not a quake, but rather it was a meteor exploding in the atmosphere called a bowlight. He notes light travels faster than sound. About 2 minutes after the flash, many heard a boom sound. Shaking was also recorded at several places. So cool. Every year, the Children's Hospital Foundation selects a champion child to represent the more than 140,000 children needing care every year at the HSC Children's Hospital in Manitoba. The champion child for 2026 has been announced as 8-year-old Ireland Galt. When Ireland was born in 2017, the baby's profound deafness was discovered through Manitoba's Universal Screening Program. In 2018, 11-month-old Ireland became the youngest Manitoban ever to be outfitted with bilateral cochlear implants. And joining us now is the 2026 Children's Hospital champion child, Ireland Galt, and her dad, Will. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Ireland, congratulations. What does it mean to you to be able to represent kids in this province?
Helping the kids.
It means a big deal to you. It's important, right? Yes. You have a favorite animal you want to tell me about. Can you tell me what it is?
My favorite animal is a parrot.
A parrot? Why is that?
Because I like their tail.
You like their tail, okay. And so this is a big deal for you to be able to represent kids, right?
Yeah.
What is the most exciting thing for you?
Going to Disneyland.
Oh, tell me about that. When are you going? Soon.
Yes.
April 11th, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So Dad, take us back to the beginning when you first found out that when Ireland was born, they did some early screening, which is just a little baby, right? They discovered she was profoundly deaf, and then she had a double cochlear implant transplant, right? Tell us a little bit about that process and why she is a perfect candidate for this job.
So Ireland basically was outfitted with cochlear implants very young.
Mm-hmm.
The test at the hospital determined that Ireland would be a great candidate due to profound hearing loss.
Okay.
It was quite an emotional process for me and my wife Courtney as we navigated a journey that we were totally unfamiliar with. It was a very stressful process. It was it had definitely some hardships and emotional times, and the Children's Hospital was there and navigated us through the journey as we started to go through the surgery process with Ireland, and basically from the newborn hearing screening program to the point where she was actually determined to be profoundly deaf.
Mm-hmm.
She was a great candidate for the cochlear implants through many testing, which was done through MRIs and different things through Children's Hospital Foundation. And yeah, it was a miraculous surgery.
And what's incredible is when you turn them on and she heard your voice for the first time, our cameras were there. They were actually rolling. So we got the whole thing on camera, which was fascinating because she is truly a trailblazer, isn't she?
100%, yes. Ireland, as mentioned, was the youngest baby in Manitoba to receive bilateral cochlear implants through the Children's Hospital. And it's such a surreal moment when we still watch that video that Michelle did, and the emotions to where she's come now, and the such kind, generous, caring young daughter we have. It's just such a miraculous surgery that was performed here, and you know, we're so grateful and we're so thankful that, you know, Ireland was able to be a candidate and that she's able to grow with what she calls her ears.
That's amazing. Okay, so you are doing special fundraising throughout the year. Of course, Ireland will represent kids who need help at the hospital throughout the year and also represent them at many different events. Going to Disneyland is pretty cool. You are doing a fundraiser with your hot dog stand. Tell us a little bit about what that's
So about. Actually at my restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the winter we have a restaurant. Willie Dogs basically goes from hot dog carts to inside at the Deer Lodge Curling Club. I've been there for 8 years. So every year we have done a fundraiser since 2020 for the Children's Hospital in honor of Ireland's hearing birthday. So this year it's her 8th hearing birthday, and once again with our partner, our matching fundraising partner, Bob Sikowski, we will be donating proceeds of the Soko Burger until April 10th to the Children's Hospital Foundation, and specifically to Ireland's Champion Child campaign to raise funds for the Children's Hospital. So $2 from each burger will be donated by myself, and $2 from Bob will be donated to the Children's Hospital.
Such a great cause, a really important cause when it comes to supporting kids in this province. Ireland, what do you want people to know about what this next year is going to look like for you? You're going to be busy, aren't you?
Yeah.
What was the most exciting thing? Are you excited to meet other kids and go to different events?
Yeah.
Yeah? What about you, Will? It's going to be busy.
For sure, yeah. Like, we have a busy business to start with, and we're so glad to, you know, Ireland's message is clear, like to help kids like her, and that's always been her thing. Even before she was selected as champion, we've always been involved with the Children's Hospital and raising funds to help children, you know, navigate the medical journey that they could be faced with. And you know, it's a very special role for Ireland. We're very grateful and humble that Ireland is given this opportunity, and we're excited to watch her grow over the next year.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations, Ireland. I'm sure we'll see you around again over the next year. Have fun.
Yes, what an inspiration you are to so many kids and families. Thank you for coming in. All right, -13. We've got some heavy clouds hanging over us. It feels like -22. That bite comes from the breeze. It's going to get even stronger throughout the day. The winds right now out of the north-northeast, 27 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 84%. So as far as the conditions go, central, southern Manitoba, that's where the snow is. And there you can see a little bit of activity through the central part of the province. But then we'll get some improvements. It'll all happen for tomorrow and the rest of the week, and even more so for the weekend, because, well, today will still stay a little bit below seasonal, -4 being normal for this time of year. The rest of the week, we're right in that zone of what you would expect. And then suddenly for the weekend, great big warm-up, plus digits on the way, remaining mild into the start of the week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. Holi is being celebrated all over the world. The Hindu festival is a celebration of the triumph of good over evil, welcoming in spring and saying goodbye to winter. Millions of people in India, Nepal, and worldwide celebrate by using colors not just for decoration, but also for expressing love, forgiveness, and the joy of life, while eating traditional foods and joining in prayer.
What fun. And we could use that kind of color on a day like today.
Now. And then snow can be a blank canvas for those who want to be creative. Well, it's cool. After a fresh snowfall, this guy decided to take his projector outside and bring his car to life. With a few clicks, he turned it into Lightning McQueen from the movie Cars. Cool. And sticking with cars, a Brazilian soccer fan is heading out for the World Cup. The content creator is driving his 1971 Volkswagen Beetle to the U.S. to watch his country play this summer. The trip will take him through 15 countries, driving around 14,000 kilometers. Terry, do you remember the Punch Buggy No Return thing?
Oh, I do.
Oh, yes.
Ow!
Yeah, sorry. think a lot of people will receive a punch in the arm in the World Cup when they see this guy. It's beautiful color, too.
Oh, what a journey he is in for. That hurt.
Sorry. That does it for us. See you tomorrow.